Monday through Thursday, April 18th through the 21st, 2011. Chapter 1. Cherry Mae.
You can tell an awful lot about people from cleaning their houses. Like the time I drug a hot pink thong out from under old Ed McAllister's bed. A lacy little piece of cloth that wouldn't fit round his wife's hiney in her best days. So what did Verna McAllister do to protect her husband's stellar reputation? Tried to hide her shock while swearing up and down she used that thong for a dust rag. Thing's no bigger than a piece of lint. Besides, who cleans that house? Her or me? I've had plenty other revelations. Like when I seen that hoard of sleeping pills stuck down in Alicia Mae Alkin's sweater drawer. Enough to kill at least 2.5 people. And her so happy and all after marrying the man of her dreams. Words is just air. Faces tell you more, if you pay attention. Most people don't. But houses, they hold the darkest secrets. Not that I go poking round the places I clean. Well, maybe I do. But a woman's got to have something to keep her brain going while she scrubs toilets. Like Sherlock Holmes said, my mind rebels at stagnation. Besides, anybody in this town will tell you Cherry Mae Divine's the best house cleaner around. I got my customer list, white and black folk alike. So full, there ain't room for one more, and that's a fact. So I figure some roving eyes now and then ain't gonna hurt nobody. I always keep my discoveries to myself. But mercy, what I seen today. Austin Bradmeyer, mayor of Amaryllis, is a finicky man. Finicky enough, he wants me cleaning his house twice a week, every Thursday and Monday, even though the missus don't work. So what she do all day? The mayor keeps his things just so, and that includes his fancy mahogany office, big desk and leather chair, a straight-back settee, and huge shelves full of books. The top of the desk is always perfect. No cluttered papers, every pen in the wooden holder. Even his ashtray is always emptied into the trash can, which don't keep smoking from being a nasty habit. I happen to know that office is Mayor B's private little place. The missus ain't even allowed to go in there. See, Mayor B ain't as nice and gentlemanly as folks think. I seen him more than once come home from lunch and yell at his wife over nothing. And I mean stomping round, red-faced mad, fire in his eyes like the devil. So out of control, he don't even care I seen him. As if anybody would believe my word over his anyway. Then he'll turn it off, just like that, light a cigarette, and go back to his plastics factory. No doubt smiling at everybody there. I done lived long enough to know this. People can fool you. You think they one thing. They might be something else altogether. Today, Thursday, Mayor B was at work as usual. His factory has a second shift that goes till 11 p.m., but the mayor keeps regular business hours in his office. Mrs. Eva B said she had to run out to Piggly Wiggly, and in case she didn't return before I was through, she left my check on the kitchen counter. The door slammed behind her on the way out. Mrs. B's always in a hurry. I finished my dusting in the formal dining room and headed to Mayor B's office, toting my fold-up 2-step stool. Have to drag that thing to every room to dust up high. House cleaning would be a whole lot easier if I was 6 foot tall. In the office, I set down my stool and walked to the desk I'd done dusted 1,000 times. and found myself eyeing the shiny gold drawer handles. Like iron filings to a magnet, my hand reached for the top drawer. I glanced over my shoulder out to the front hallway, even though I knew nobody was there. My fingers pulled the drawer. It rolled open so easy. Green hanging files is what I seen. Inside 'em, folder after beige folder with labels like City Council and Downtown. But the one that caught my eye was Closet Killings. That sent a chill rolling down my back. 3 years and 5 victims. Then, just 2 nights ago, Lord have mercy on us, a 6th. I could recite each name and date, knew each woman myself. The whole town did. The population of Amaryllis barely reaches 1,700, so who's not gonna know everybody else? I pulled out the manila folder, laid it on the desk. My heart took to tripping. For a minute, I almost put the file back. Didn't want to see. Didn't want to know. Instead, I opened the folder. On top sat a full-page color picture of Martha Eggers from the waist up. Blood all over her, a knife buried in her neck. She'd been shoved in a closet, clothes hanging round her. Her eyes was wide open, like she died in utter terror. I let out a little scream and tipped my face to the ceiling. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Couldn't pray no more than the precious Savior's name. My breaths got all staggery and sweat popped down my back. I leaned against the desk and pulled in air. Not that I hadn't known how Martha died, but to see it for myself. I flipped over the picture, couldn't bear to see it again. I lowered my eyes and seen photo number 2, Sarah Fulgerson, just as bloody, knife just as deep in her neck, but the handle was different. Sarah's eyes was closed. Like Martha, she was propped up against a closet wall. My heart liked to beat right out of me. I pressed my hand to my chest. Martha was my age, 62. Sarah, 57. Both white women. What crazy voice in my head was it told me to look at the third picture? I'll never know. It was Sonia Stelligman, 61. Another knife in the neck, blood everywhere. She sat in her closet. Sonia was a black lady, went to my church. I love that woman. Next, I saw Alma Withers, only 48 when she was killed. Similar stab wound. Then Carla Brewster, 64, butchered the same way. Alma was white, Carla black. There they was, pictures of the first 5 murders, in order. That Mayor B, he was meticulous, all right. My knees went weak. I huffed down into Mayor B's chair and leaned back, steadying myself. Alma's photo still glared up at me, should I turn my face back to it. Last thing I wanted to do. But there was one more killing. The most recent. Erica Hollinger, white girl just 20 years old. Husband sent off to the Afghanistan war, then blown to pieces by a bomb 6 months ago. Erica had been a town wild child, raised by a single mother who drank too much. As for Erica's husband, Bruce Hollinger, I'd cleaned his parents' house for years. Watched Bruce grow. He was a good boy. I went to his and Erica's wedding, just about the only blackface there. Later, I went to Bruce's funeral. Who'd have guessed within half a year Erica would be dead too? Now, 2 days after her murder, I still don't know when her funeral will be. The police had yet to release her body. Something beyond me made my hand flip over Alma's picture. And there sat Erica, knife in the neck and bloodied, the ends of her thick brown hair clotted in red, once pretty face all blotched and purple. My body went to shaking. Good thing Mrs. B didn't choose that time to come home. Don't think I could have moved. The whole town knew the victims was all found in their closets, and that one person killed 'em all. The police said no doubt about that, because every crime scene was the same. Now I seen the proof. Each knife handle looked different, but from the size they all looked to be paring knives, something every woman would have in her kitchen. I slapped the file shut. Why did the mayor have these pictures? They had to come from the police. But those men were a tight bunch, 2 of 'em father and son. And Chief Adam Carter ruled the roost. Carter and Mayor B was tight too, but the chief had kept a zipped lip on details of the closet killings. So to make an extra set of pictures of every murder for Austin Bradmeyer and let the man take 'em home? I couldn't see Mr. I'm the boss here Carter doing that, even for the mayor. Besides, why would Mayor B want those horrible things? The grandfather clock in the front hallway bonged, bringing me back to my senses. I still had an office to clean. If Mrs. B come back, she'd wondered what I'd been doing with my time. I picked up the folder with 2 fingers, like I didn't want to touch it, and spread apart the green hanging file to drop it back in. That's when I seen the ring resting on the bottom of the file. My heart knew what it was almost before my brain kicked in, and my muscles just plain froze. Erica Hollinger, born Erica Loken, got the ring from her mother on her 16th birthday, handed down from her great-grandmother. Far as I knew, she never took it off. 2 days ago, I seen Erica at the drugstore late that afternoon. She seemed upset. "How you doing?" I touched her arm. She shook her head in that determined way of hers. "I'm fine," but wiped her eyes. Sad, her being so young and losing a husband and all. So I took myself home and baked a batch of brownies and carted 'em over to Erica's house to cheer her up. We ended up sitting on her couch like 2 good friends, which we really ain't, eating those brownies and watching a movie. Around 10 o'clock I went home, and Erica said she was headed for bed. I told her to wrap up the brownies so they wouldn't get hard. Erica rolled her big brown eyes, but did what I said. She made a big deal of ripping off the plastic wrap while I watched. And that ring was on her finger. Sometime that night, Erica was killed while sleeping in her bed, just like the other 5. When I heard the awful news yesterday, I couldn't believe it. I called the police and told them I'd been to Erica's house that very night. Chief Carter said to come in and give a statement. He took me in that little interrogation room at the station and questioned me up and down. At the end, he said, "You by any chance notice Erica's diamond ring on her little finger?" Later that day, I talked to Erica's mama. She also wondered if I seen the ring. Because when the police found Erica's body, she said, that ring was the only thing missing from the house. Mayor B said nothing about being in Erica's house that night she was killed. Why should he be? In fact, just this morning, the county paper ran a quote from Mayor B, saying how sad he was that while he and the wife was safe at home, across town, another woman was getting herself killed. Now here sat Erica's ring in Mayor B's desk drawer. Something in my belly started to tremble. I set down the folder and picked up that ring, looked inside the gold band. There they was,
Erica's great-grandmother's initials, AKL. I dropped the ring back in the folder like it was on fire. Cherry Mae, you know you crazy for what you thinking. You know there's an explanation. I looked from those awful pictures to the ring. Trophies? I seen crime shows on TV. I know crazed killers keep such things. And we sure did have ourselves a crazy killer in Amaryllis. But it ain't Austin Brad, my Cherry Mae. Come on, girl. Maybe Mayor B kept those pictures to remind himself how much he wanted to catch the closet killer. Least that's what he says all the time. Fine then, what about the ring? The police might have given him a set of those pictures, but they don't even know he had that ring. I heard the Bradmeyers' front door open. My body jerked. I threw the picture file back in the hanging folder and slid the drawer shut, snatched up my dust rag, heart rattling in my chest. "I'm back, Cherry Mae," Mrs. B called. "Yes, ma'am, I'm in the office." Somehow my voice came out normal. I heard Mrs. B's footsteps coming and started dusting like my life depended on it. Fact was, it did. By the time I got out of that house, my mouth run dry and my knees wobbled. I loaded my car with all my supplies in the stool and slid inside to rest my head against the steering wheel. Surely I was as good as dead. Me, a woman living alone in Amaryllis and knowing what I did? What was I gonna do? I couldn't keep quiet about something this big. And I couldn't tell nobody neither. Because who in town's gonna believe the likes of 5-foot-high Cherry Mae Devine when she says the mayor's the one who killed them 6 women?